I think they inject a tape. Because this is how it goes. You are no good. What have you done? Nobody appreciates you. Who cares anyway? It's the same for all of us. That's how it gets to us. Are there demons? Of course not. Come on. Somebody with a red suit and a hole in the ground? We got too many people driving outside you have to worry about. Those are the bad ones. You know, it was funny because not too long ago it said, honk if you love Jesus, and I did, and they gave me the finger. Yeah. It's a sad commentary. This is a bad camping trip. And the food's lousy. It is. People say, what am I doing here? Listen to me. Listen to me if you never take away anything else. The very fact that you had the guts to come here, to this lousy place, this negative, no truth. You have already ensured the fact that you're going to have a place on the other side. Because let me tell you something. There are many, many wimpy entities on the other side that said, I don't want any part of that school. But because we were strong, we said, look, I want to go to the hardest school. I want to go to the best school as far as negativity is concerned. Learn fast and get out. So don't think because you've gone through illness and depression or isolation or any of those other things that we've all experienced that you're the only one. In fact, here's the tragedy. The more you go through, the more you're accelerating your soul. Stop with that. God only allows you to have as much as you can handle. You're the one that wrote the dumb thing. Now, here you go. I've said the same thing. Where the hell was my mind on the other side when I wrote this? I said, do they have drugs on the other side? And I don't drink, but I have a feeling they smuggled something in. Because don't you wonder, you say, people have always said to me, what the hell was wrong with me? Well, you see, you wrote down, I want to have a really crazy marriage with a sociopath. I want to have insane parents, at least one of them. And I want to have ungrateful brat kids. I want to have friends that are not. And whenever I plan something wonderful, I want to have somebody ruin it. And I want to get older and go to seed very quickly. And throw in a few illnesses and maybe defamation of character, whatever. Now, this is how it works. Took me a long time to figure this one out. But here it is. Think about this. On a, let's say Monday, you see your friend and you say, listen, great idea, because you feel wonderful Monday, don't you? And you say, listen, Friday, let's go to the ball game. And let's go out and eat, okay? Thursday comes and you feel like hell. You say to yourself, why? Why did I say I was going to do that? I don't even like ball games. I don't even like the person I asked. But you already made the contract, didn't you? So you go. It's the same way on the other side. You're in perfect harmony. Everything's great. You're talking with your friends. Everything's fun. You say, oh, sure, give me 4 of those, 3 of these, 2 of those. I don't care. And then you get down here and you say, damn it. And God said, you can't break your contract. We know this even from Christ. Didn't he say, can I please get out of this? God said, no, you can't. Sorry. No. See, instead of thinking, people say, well, then there's no free will choice. Then why do we program and why do we ask? Because there is lateral movement in that. Of course there is. You might have written in your chart that you're going to have a wreck, but you can have it as a little fender bender rather than a full-scale head-on collision. You can modify, you can elongate. Maybe you wrote in money. Why didn't we write in enough money? Why didn't we write in big money? Just put down money. That's a dime. What is that? And through the despair, a lot of times that you don't let yourself get into, try not to. Try to be positive, because this is a law of the universe. Like attracts like. It really does. You ever notice? People walk around and say to me, I have no friends, whine, whine, whine. Well, of course you don't. You're miserable. Nobody wants you. They hate you. On Montel once, this woman stood up and there was nothing about it, because a lot of people can be heavier and fine. I mean, let's face it. I swear to you. And she said, how do I go on a diet? And I said, stop eating. Shut your mouth. The diet, just stop it. Eating like that. She was eating through the show. Every time I started to answer a question, I heard, oh my God. Now, the wonderful thing about going to the other side is that we don't have to be with people that are miserable or mean or nasty, because they don't go where we go. They go through the left door, so to speak. Yes, and they keep recycling. See, and that makes sense, because they go to hell. We're in it. And we say, gee, everything happens good for those people. Of course it does, because that's all they get is a circle. We get to go through the tunnel and see all of our loved ones, the people that we love, because for a fact, we don't have demons, but we have evil, nasty people. You know that, don't you? Really, truly. My mother, my friend is laughing because she's gone through this with me, was a dark entity. And she went through the left door. I know she didn't. I hope she ended up in Ethiopia somewhere. People say, oh, how can you say that about your mother, until they met her and they went, ooh. Yeah. And you would say, why would you pick a mother like? I tell you, this is very serious, because everything she did, I did the opposite of. So don't you see, even these people in life can really be wonderful for you, because you use them as a negative to turn yourself into a positive. There's a wonderful story, true story. This woman who'd put up with, and I hate this because I'm now a mother-in-law, but anyway, this mother-in-law for 35 years, this mean, hateful, nightmare bitch. And the woman died, and she went, oh, phew. 3 nights later, the bitch appears at the bottom of the bed. Can you imagine the woman? I would have taken a knife and just gone, get me out of here. So she says to the woman, I'm sorry that I was so mean and hateful in life, but don't you see, because I was so negative, it made you learn tolerance and patience. And it's true. So think about that. And stop with this karma business. Will you stop with that? It's my karma. I have to stay with these lousy people because you see it's my karma. No, it's not your karma. It's not your karma. Read what karma says. Karma says experiencing for the soul. Is it anything worse than being around a person with a pity party all the time? Is there anything in this world worse? And it's wonderful, isn't it, sometimes at 3 in the morning when you're scrubbing the floor or whatever you're doing, you men that come in from work, it's wonderful to go through that. Who cares? Nobody loves me. I work myself to the bone, and this is the thanks I get. But then you don't want to carry it too far because then nobody likes you anymore. They get tired of hearing it, don't they? You know, my grandmother was a great psychic, and she was. Wonderful. I mean, I go back to Kansas City now, and they still talk about her to this day. And she said, you know, Sylvia, listen to me. Laugh and the world laughs with you. Cry and you will weep alone. And that's kind of it's harsh, but it's true, isn't it? Because, yes, we all need somebody to ventilate. But have you ever noticed with some of these people, they ventilate, and you say, but I'd like to. Yeah, wait a minute. Let me first tell you about me. No, that's draining. And don't be concerned about, because I was very concerned, because after all, the commandments say, honor your father and mother, don't they? And my guide said to me one day, yes, if they're honorable, you do, and then if you don't, if they're not, I said to myself, what a lift. If they're not honorable, you don't have to honor them. Do you have to be mean to them? No, I wasn't. I took care of her till she died, 93. Can't figure out whether they're just teaching you a lesson or God just doesn't want them. My father, God love his sweetheart. I loved my father. Loved my father. Wonderful man. He said to me right before he died, he knew he was going, he came to the office and he sat down in the lunchroom and he looked at me, he said, Sylvia, and I said, what, Daddy? He said, please tell me I don't have to be with your mother on the other side. I said, I promise you, honey, you don't have to be. Besides, she's German and you're Jewish. It's not going to work. Never has. One side had ovens for the other. Wasn't good. Wasn't a good scene. Now, when you go through your life, if you don't ever have your name in lights, you probably have had in one life. But it's those of you that toil and stress and try to make things better in a little circle or a wide circle that you've ensured the fact that you're going to go over there. And probably, I've found, psychically as well as spiritually, people that really grasp this are really on their last life. They really are. We don't want to come down and do this again. We're going to get it right this time, aren't we? And it doesn't mean that we don't love life, because I think life can be hysterical. I also think God has a sense of humor. Look at your neighbor if you don't believe me. And what about this mean, hateful God? You see, the minute you put a humanized trait on God, you've got the wrong God. We say, don't we, God is omnipotent, perfect, loving, caring. Perfect is the optimum word here. But then we say, but God's mad at me. No. Now we have dropped the humanized God. No such a thing. No such a thing. God took my child. No such a thing. God hates me. No such a thing. God's abandoned me. No such a thing. But we have been programmed by not just the Bible, but lots of books. And even though the Bible is a good book, you've got to realize it was written by males. Do you think I care? There's more women than men in here. And don't mess with us. We'll rush.